get into it. We're here to talk about the Game of Thrones that just happened on April 11th over at Big Shots in Woodbridge. First thing I want to address is what happened to me. So, Friday night, I had worked in Hoboken at Pig and Parrot, DJ'd, got done a little after 2 in the morning, got home a little after 3, had to do some tightening up and loading up of the car at that time, so I probably got to bed about 4 a.m. Had to be up at 8 a.m. to DJ an opening baseball ceremony at the Little League. So I had to pack up all that equipment, get dressed, try to eat. Once that was taken care of, pack everything back up, throw it in the car, ran over and got Joe Dink, headed over to Big Shots by 11 a.m. and started setting up for the tournament. Did that, set everything up, organized, ran it, the whole nine. My problem was I didn't sleep. I forgot to eat during the day. I was tired and was drinking, didn't hydrate well, and I ended up getting a very bad, you want to call it an ulcer in my stomach during the tournament. Now, everybody knows I had a sprained knee on top of it. I sprained my knee about 8 weeks ago. I've been just rehabbing it. Everything's good, wearing a brace, just making sure that's good. Well, I didn't wear a brace the whole day either. So by the midway to the end of the tournament, with all the stress that was going on, organizing things, and I'll get into that later, I ended up throwing up twice and just was absolutely sick. So immediately I wanted to say I apologize if I was standoffish or I didn't get to hang out and really talk to everybody, and I was in a lot of pain. So by the time the tournament ended, we had to break everything down. We had to load up the car. I could not wait to get home, and I ended up spending 2 days on the couch. Couldn't eat, couldn't move, massive pain, couldn't sleep. By Tuesday, I started feeling better, and today, Wednesday, and now Friday, I feel much better. But note to myself, don't do that again. Don't push myself that hard. And if I do, make sure I eat. And I had given up drinking for Lent for 40 days, so coming off 40 days not drinking to going that hard body where I'm just drinking all day basically, my body wasn't ready for it. So we're taking a cleanse here, and that's the story. So I apologize if I was standoffish to anybody or if I didn't, get a chance to talk to people. But the tournament went awesome. A lot of people wouldn't even have known I was sick or in pain. Everything went so great. I think the venue was an A+. The teams were same, an A+. Everything about the day went real smooth from 12 to 8. We had to 8 o'clock and we got it done. Format was great. Only thing I would change is we used to have a website with the rules posted. And then I had taken down the website about a year and a half ago since we weren't doing events. It was just not worth the finances to keep that thing going. And now with this tournament, there wasn't like a go-to spot. So that will definitely be something I will fix. We're looking at starting up a website since we're doing a lot more events and just having a place, like a go-to place to sign up and a go-to place for rules and such. But we got through it. And there was a lot of the overtime stuff that people were a little bit flaky on, and we can go over that in a podcast at a later time, or maybe just put up a video on YouTube. So, but yeah, I think we want to do this again. The venue reached out to us afterwards. We did a follow-up on the tournament, and the venue was extremely pleased. And they want to do something else. So I want to make sure I'm doing something that is not the same, but not super complicated. And I don't want it to interfere with any other tournaments that are going on. So stay tuned. We're going to look for some dates, and you'll be seeing something else there. Not sure what we're going to do there. I don't know if it's going to be as big as the 6v6. Could be smaller, could be bigger. I'm not sure, but we're going to put something together. The one thing that came across the plate, and I want to say thanks to Eric Held for coming up to me. I had done the matchups for the first 3 games in the prelims, and then for the playoffs, I was going to allow the teams to determine it. I wasn't sure if I was going to force the teams to put their matchups, give them to me before the game, and then let the teams decide who's going to play who. What Eric decided was, and I thought it was good, is let people rock, paper, scissors, and then they can, whoever loses has to throw out their matchup, the other team has to match it. This was unscripted. we had not planned this. This was unrehearsed. We're like, let's be organic with it. Throw it to the wall, see if it sticks, and we did it. It worked out okay. It wasn't terrible until the later rounds when people decided that there was some gamesmanship involved, which competitors always do. They're always going to look for a loophole. They're always going to find the way around things. And it was kind of with the co-ed side of it, where if they lost rock, paper, scissors, they'd throw out their co-ed, which would force the other team to throw out the co-ed. Then we make your rock, paper, scissors again. Then they're like, well, if we go first, then you should go first. We'll straighten that up for next time. I'll get some input on that. Probably could be done somewhere, somehow, a lot better. I'm sure somebody out there, I know they do it for like Beast of the East back in the day. Mike Vitt, he would have, and Garrett, they would have pre-programmed cards, and we'll rehearse it. It wasn't terrible. I don't think anybody really complained or minded too much, but that would be something we would want to fix. And you see, hey, the Game of Thrones, so I put it up for the podcast here today. Step and repeat. Not a lot of people took advantage of it. And, hopefully when we do this again next year, we will do this again next year. You get a chance to utilize that. But and the crowns, I love that the crowns were for the kings that signed up. It was just a way of us knowing that, hey, you signed up. Boom, here's your crown, and they paid, and it was just a little mental checklist for us, and everybody embraced them. I love that they flipped them upside down and wore them as a hat, but I'm just happy they got used, and everybody enjoyed it and embraced it, and I think what we saw more than anything was it was just a fun day. If you look at Pong, it's competitive. Maybe it has a bad reputation online of being like a drinking game or college game. What this community has turned this into is more of a place for people to come together and hang out and get away from their problems. Like I mentioned to somebody, not one person was on their phone. Like 85-95% of the time, people were not on their phone. They were hanging out, conversing or playing or joking. And I think that's great to detach from the outside world and forget our problems, come in as a community and embrace new people and just have fun. And I tell you, from an outsider's perspective, it wasn't like the old days where it was a bunch of screaming people calling each other's names and threatening their mothers. This was the community has grown. They see the value and the importance of the perspective from the outsider and making sure that we're selling a good brand to bring more people in and grow more people in. So I really see the growth in this, and it was awesome to see, and I'm glad everybody had a good time. The feedback was awesome, and people coming up to me, and like I said, I apologize. I know like Black John came up to me and was saying, "Hey man, we need more of this," and I was just like, "I'm gonna throw up on your shoes." Like, I apologize. I'm gonna circle back, and hopefully next time I see people at events, I'm gonna be able to carry on these conversations. I know Doug was there talking about the AC tournament that we're going to be down there with, putting it together. And I don't want to, no spoilers. No, I'm not going to tell you what's going on, but it looks like we're going to be helping host down there for the AC tournament in different ways, but probably be active on the Friday check-in tournament. So moving forward, we'll give details on that. And then we're just kind of looking forward to, I think this is springboarded into the Saturday tournament over at Chill Lounge, where it's Worlds Collide, where all three of the Pong companies are going to get together and put a 2v2 together, $1,000, show these guys how to run one, get them on board so that we can help grow the brand in their locations and continue to find new players. So that's exciting. I think the 6v6 was a great kickoff for that, and then that's going to obviously kick off the AC tournament. So lots to look forward to here with Pong. Standout player George Joseph just coming to the rescue when, you got BC whose dog passed and he was there, and emotionally just a very difficult day. We try to make it as comfortable for him as possible. And, George stepped up as a teammate and definitely helped facilitate some of the issues with partnering up with the players, getting people to the tables, and thank you, George, and congratulations on winning. And I really honestly think this is something we want to do every year, and I would love more teams to come out and check it out. So we're going to have the date. I think it's April 10th, 2027. So that's locked in. So we're just going to look for a venue if we do it at the Big Shots or if we maybe find a bigger venue. I'd like to continue this 6v6 Game of Thrones and you got to come for the throne. So, team sitting on the throne right now, you got to dethrone them next year. So hopefully you get your 6v6 and put that together. And listen, looking forward to the next tournaments, and keep on supporting, keep on coming out, keep on educating people, sharing these videos, and turning people on to all the pawn companies, so that we can grow this to where it was, prior COVID, and get back on track and having some fun. So, appreciate you guys. Remember to stay off your phone the first hour of the day. Enjoy your first hour of your day. Don't go on your phone the first hour of your day. We'll see you at the next podcast. Take care.